Alright, so today's video we're checking out the Nazgul Evoque F5 V3, and I did review the V1 but not the V2. In terms of the frame design update, they moved the air unit to the front, so this is an 04 air unit version, and but basically pretty much the same as the V2. The stack is a little bit different now. So still mini stack, 20 by 20 boards, F7 flight controller, and now a 60 amp 4-in-1 AC. The previous version was a 55 amp, and they rebranded the name from Blitz to Borg for the stack. I'll link that in the description if I happen to have it at the release of the video. But essentially the same sort of setup with the XT60 plug in the back. This has a GPS option, and you can get this in Express LRS, which is what I have here, 2.4 gigahertz, or you can also go with 900 megahertz Express LRS or TBS Crossfire, or you can have it set up as a DJI out of the box for DJI S Plus if you have the remote controller 3. And obviously this will work with the Goggles 3, the Goggles N3, Integra, and Goggles 2. I believe the motor is the same as well. It's a 2207 1750 kV Zing motor. It's very common. They've been using it for a while. Very good, efficient motor. And the same Nazgul F5 props. I think these are made by iFlight themselves. The side plates are all injection molded plastic. I think these were upgraded from TPU in the previous generation. And the style of the frame is the dead cat, of course. I'm primarily going for cinematic video for this one, so I don't want props in view. But for those of you that are more looking for freestyle, then there's the Squashed X version as well, so that you can go for that. That'll give you a little bit more balanced flight for freestyle, but of course you're going to get props in view, and in which case then maybe you want to go for a GoPro and use a GoPro mount there. But I'm using the DJI 04 Pro, so all the 4K video will be coming from the 04 Pro Air unit. And like on the previous Evoque models, the LEDs are here in the arms and also on the side plates as well. So when you power it up, you get a nice green light everywhere. It also is Betaflight configurable. And again, you get the buzzer on the bottom. And again, on the XT60, it does come with the anti-spark filter, so you plug in your 6S battery and it will not spark. So the recommended battery is a 1480 6S full send from iFlight. I don't have that battery. They usually send them along with these, but this is an older 1400 milliamp hours, so slightly less advertised flight time. I'm expecting here maybe like 10 minutes, and on the 1480 they're saying like 12 to 13 minutes. But I'll put up here on the screen what it weighs without the battery and with the battery. And in terms of the unboxing experience, it only came with one set of props. It usually comes with two, so that's a little bit unusual. And then it only came with these two battery straps were pre-installed, not the longer ones that you would expect for the lithium ion packs. So since I don't have any of those longer straps for the bigger packs, I won't be able to test it for this video. But if you're a Patreon and you want to see this tested with the 21700 packs, 6S packs, let me know in the comments, and I may arrange that for a future video over on my Patreon. But yeah, for the larger 21700 4000 milliamp hour pack, you should probably expect, I would imagine, somewhere in the 15 to 19 minute in terms of flight time. Of course, it is going to be quite a bit heavier, so your hover throttle is going to be probably in the 45 to 50% range instead of 20 to 25%. In terms of the arms, it looks like they're a little bit thicker this year. I think they're like 6 millimeters. I'll double check that with some calipers, and I'm not exactly sure if the V2s were the same or less, if they're 5 millimeters. Didn't have that version, so can't really tell you. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and take it up in the air and see how it feels. All right, so I did opt for the GPS option, but it came with GPS Rescue disabled out of the box. So I did enable it, but I have it set so that I can still arm without any GPS lock, which I don't have. And usually, because of the placement of the GPS, it will take probably about a third of the battery for it to get a lock. But I am not really doing this I'm not really going to be using this for long range. I just sort of went for that option because they asked me, and I said, oh, sure, go ahead and put it on there. Who knows, maybe in the future I may do that, maybe use it for long range. That's not something I typically fly. But if you're interested in long range and like really long flights, like say over 20 minutes, then I would recommend going for the Cine LR7. I did a review on that one a few months back, and that one is very solid. It's got the O4 unit with very large capacity for batteries, 7.5 inches. So definitely recommend that one. I'll link that in the description, or if in case I forget, just ask me in the comments, and then I will go ahead and put that in there for you. Well, yeah, it's kind of cruising around here. I can tell it's pretty loud. The tune seems solid. Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of prop wash. Let's kind of push it here, and if I fly close here, you're not going to really hear me talk. But yeah, if you're wondering, for those of you that watch a lot of my micro videos, is a 5-inch loud? It's loud. So there's screamers, but I don't see any vibrations or oscillations. It feels pretty solid. All right, I got a bug crawling in the back of my neck, which is bothering me. Let me bring it in here and land. Get that bug off of me. All right, still no satellites yet. Do some quick turns here. Yeah, I can tell that it's tuned properly. You can usually, when you have a lot of like quick turns and you go into your own prop wash, you get a lot of like vibrations on poorly tuned quads. But as expected for anything from iFlight, they always do a good job. I would be surprised if it came out of the box without a really good tune. They're very, in fact, it's been a long time since I've received a quad from iFlight where it did not fly well out of the box as expected. Now, if you're primarily looking for a 5-inch for freestyle, you're probably going to want to go for the squashed X version of the frame, because usually on these dead cats, whenever I try and do anything like a split S, it just has some very strange, I don't know, flight characteristics. It's not anything to do with the tune, it's just because of the frame geometry. I've talked about this in previous videos. So if you're primarily looking to do freestyle, I would recommend going with bugs. These bugs are attacking me. Going with the squashed X version for freestyle. Oh man, I gotta land again. This bug or fly or whatever it is chewing on my arm now. Come on. All right, this is annoying. Oh, it's an ant. Oh my God, why are there ants on me? All right, so unexpectedly, I was expecting to get a few satellites by now, but as I've mentioned in many of my videos, the GPS antenna where it's in the back by the video transmitter antennas, the VTX antennas, not a good spot. I would recommend moving that if you can. I'm not going to use a GoPro, so I may just go ahead and just move it to the front, and you'll get satellite locks a lot faster. I was expecting at least a few by now, which just means that it's just receiving a lot of interference. And usually the first time you try and get a lock, it does take a bit of time. All right, now I'm getting more ants on me. Okay, I gotta land again. This is crazy. Why do I have all these ants on me? All right, I think where I'm positioned has a lot of bugs. I got flies and ants and all kinds of ornery insects bothering the hell out of me. But this one's a keeper. I'm gonna have more videos on this one at some point later. So if you're wondering if you want more content on this, don't worry. I will continue to fly this as opportunities present themselves. But yeah, it is very locked in. I can pretty much do what I want. And it's got plenty of power. You know, there's really nothing surprising about these 5-inch setups now. You know, 2207 or 2306 motors, and obviously for a 6S setup, you're looking for kV in the 1750 to 1900 as a sweet spot. There's going to be variations in that sort of recipe, but you know, this recipe has been out for years now, so I would not expect it to change anytime soon, and it hasn't changed. So obviously you can go on to different variations for specific purposes. You know, you can go to lower kV for more flight time, higher kV for more, I guess, flight authority or aggressiveness. And yeah, this is a quality product for iFlight as usual. And obviously, if you're in the US, this is probably one of the only ways you can be able to acquire an 04 Air Unit Pro. So if you're wondering, a lot of people ask me where you can pick those up. They've been out of stock forever because of the embargo or ban or whatever people are calling this these days for DJI. And if you're looking for an Air Unit or Air Unit Pro, you got to buy a bind and fly. And those are getting through customs, although you are just going to have to pay the tariff. So no getting around that. If you're a Patreon, you want to ask me some details on my tariff situation on this particular one, let me know, and I'll hit me up over on my Patreon, and we can take that conversation over there. I did make a video and asking people about their tariff situations, but I really didn't get much of a response from people. I don't think, in my opinion, I think a lot of people are just foregoing buying stuff right now because of the situation, just waiting. So a lot of people are going to wait and see, but if you're desperate to get an Air Unit, you need one, pick up like a really cheap model that has an 04 unit in it. I think the Pavo 20 Pro from Beta FPV is the cheapest one on the market right now. And then you can just harvest the 04 Air Unit out of there and stick it into a different model if you want to do that. But yeah, I'm just flying around. I haven't noticed anything unusual about this one. It's flying great. I'm already up to almost 9 minutes of flight time. And I'm down to about 3.6 volts. And you can definitely go lower because they will recover once you land. But still no satellites, so clearly the location of the GPS in the back, as I have mentioned many, many times in previous videos, is not a good location for the GPS because the antennas are there and that interferes. You know, it's blasting out radio waves, and that interferes with reception of the GPS signal, which is, you know, the satellites are above the antennas. So the GPS antenna needs to be above the VTX antennas to avoid that situation. But I'm going to go ahead and land here. About 10 minutes of cruising around here. Very happy with this flight. And you'll be seeing more content on this one later. Got any questions, comments, let me know in the comment section below. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.